Tariq, how is she?
Well, she for yourself.
How's the baby? Is he okay?
Whoever took him from me is gonna pay. Bottom line.
Who was it? We will not stop until we get this guy.
Dirty copy of Diana B.
What? If you're in some kind of danger, I need to know.
I'm not a ghost. I can fix whatever problem I'm in.
What makes you think you can trust Davis or Tariq?
I don't trust either of them.
We're all at risk now.
Will Diana's baby survive? Will Rashad Tate buy Detective Carter's story about what happened to his brother, Kamal Tate? How does Tariq and Brayden tackle this situation with them being caught on CCTV? And how does Detective Carter get control back into his dirty task force? Those are just a few of the questions we have going into what will definitely be an action-packed episode 7. And that's just from what we've seen from the trailer and exclusive images. I am sure there's going to be a lot more to unpack from 407. So, as usual, we're going to run through a quick preview of all the clues, images, and any kind of teasers that match up to Ghost Season 4, Episode 7. But first, let's take a look at the title and synopsis. Now, the title of Episode 7 is I Can't Fix It, and the synopsis reads, when tragedy strikes, Tariq and the Tahadas are set on a mission to avenge what they've lost. Drew must take out a threat to Carter's organization in order to protect the Tahadas. Now, in terms of the episode title and synopsis, earlier in the week I did link this to Power Season 4, Episode 10, which was titled You Can't Fix This. It was an episode which was centered around Ghost and Tommy on the hunt for Raina's killer, but where Tariq took matters into his own hands to avenge his sister's death. And I do think that will mirror what we'll see in 407. I do think we will see Diana looking to get revenge on Detective Felicia Lewis. But first, we have to find out whether or not the baby actually survives. We're going to pick up with Diana in hospital, but at least at this moment in time, from what we've seen in the teasers and with Tasha saying the baby is a sign of hope, the baby is still alive. But it is going to be touch and go. Felicia Lewis purposely punched and stomped Diana's stomach over and over again, knowing the damage she was causing. So, I personally think it will be a bit of a miracle if Diana's baby does survive. And we all know Power, they don't do miracles. With Power, it's all about death or jail. Now at some point, Diana will be discharged and she will be back home. She looks like she's still in pain emotionally and physically, although I don't think it will be too long before she is back on her feet causing absolute mayhem. Now just coming to the other side with law enforcement, we know that they do also have a couple of issues. It was teased that Internal Affairs were looking into their task force. Detective Carter also killed Kamal Tate. Felicia Lewis put Diana in a hospital and also has Tariq killing Zaun on CCTV. And last but not least, Roman Price is still breathing in jail, who's about to snitch on the dirty task force. So, it's actually not looking good for Detective Carter and his task force. From a power of strength and position, they actually find themselves deep in a lot of shit, and it also looks like it. Across a lot of these images for episode 7 from law enforcement, Carter doesn't look like a happy man. I'm also intrigued to see how he actually deals with Felicia Lewis, because you can sense the walls closing in on her character. She was acting a little desperate in 406, and she does seem to be becoming a weak link in Carter's task force, who definitely did defy his orders. At some point, I'm also expecting her to bite the dust, and it has to be at the hands of Diana. I do think with Diana dressed in all black matches up, and I do think after she's kind of taken some time to recover, this is where she'll get her revenge on Detective Felicia Lewis. Her first kill basically mirroring Tariq's in terms of both their first kills being dirty cops. Maybe Carter even gives the go-ahead to get rid of Felicia Lewis to keep his hands clean. He did make his rules clear in terms of no civilians are to be harmed, but let's see. Either way, I do think Carter will want to deal with Felicia Lewis, as will Diana. Now we've also got Carter holding Monet, Diana, and Tariq at gunpoint. Whether this has anything to do with Diana's move on Felicia Lewis, before or after, we can't be 100% sure, but no doubt that could potentially be one of many topics of discussion. The other thing being having Tariq on CCTV committing a murder. Detective Carter has a real weapon on his hands in terms of having Tariq committing a murder. So, will he use it to blackmail Tariq and have him wrapped right around his finger, just like he has the Tahadas? Or will Tariq try and find a way to get his hands on this CCTV and delete it from the database? He knows as much as anyone, having leverage over someone committing a crime is a huge weapon. Just have a look at how he used it to his advantage with Noma in 406. So, is this where he actually seeks the help of Effie? Effie knows how to hack into computers and databases. We've seen countless of examples of how savvy she is when it comes to coding or computers, and this is what she does best. Could this be Effie helping Tariq? If it is, we have to ask the question, why? What's in it for Effie? There is an image of her having a conversation with Kane, where it seems like she's still moving product as usual, using Course Perfect. But we all know after her near-death experience, she wants out. She wants to pursue her dream of studying robotics at Stanford. So, could Tariq potentially promise to help her on her way if she helps him delete the CCTV footage of him killing Zion? I do think there are going to be a lot of unlikely alliances heading into the home stretch for Season 4, twists and turns which we don't expect. They started Season 4 in a war, but I always maintained, at some point, they definitely might need each other going forward to kind of help further each other's ambitions. It doesn't mean that they need to be best friends, but you can work together if both parties kind of benefit from the same situation, something he learned from Rashad Tate. Now, in terms of her relationship with Kane, let's see how far they take it this time, because we all know Kane is a street soldier, Effie actually wants out, and as Kane said in 401, Effie only cares about Effie. So, let's see whether they can kind of rekindle this relationship. Will we see any further betrayals, lies, or manipulation? Now, as we're on the topic of relationships, we've also got Tariq in conversation with Diana. They're dressed in all black, so again, this links back to their mission of getting rid of Felicia Lewis, and maybe also getting their hands on that CCTV footage. But in terms of their relationship, I'm really intrigued to see which direction they take theirs, especially if the baby doesn't survive. We all know Tariq and Diana were trying to kind of make things work, but let's not forget what Diana did to Tariq in terms of lying, stealing, manipulating, and also setting him and his mother up for death. So, if Tariq wants to kind of make things work even after what happens with the baby, I think he does need a bit of a reality check, because Diana's done a lot of shit behind his back, but let's kind of wait and see. I do think a lot will hinge on whether the baby does survive, and that's the first question we need answering, and then we can kind of look forward to in terms of what's next in terms of their relationship. Now let's come to a couple of familiar faces we're going to see return in 407. There's Rashad Tate and there's also Tasha. Tariq's going to come face to face with Tasha, where he's also going to get a warm embrace from Yasmin. Tariq will tell Tasha that he's just here to kind of just check up on them, but Tasha can smell a lie from a mile away. I think Tariq is here because he needs help, or at least Tasha's help in terms of guiding him in the right direction. That's why I think Tariq's here, because he can't fix everything. Despite his hearing in the trailer, he can, and how he's not like Ghost, he does need help, and that's the only reason I can think of him coming to see Tasha. Now, we all know Tasha will always be there for him, and if he asks for Tasha's help, will he come back and haunt him? Could they be laying the foundation for Tasha to come back to New York to help Tariq fight this battle? And when she eventually does, could she be taken off the chessboard towards the end of Season 4? Let's see what they kind of set up in this conversation, but one thing's for sure, I wouldn't be surprised to hear Tariq admitting, I can't fix it. Now, in terms of Rashad Tate, I don't think he's going to buy Detective Carter's story. I think Carter will look to potentially frame someone for Kamal Tate's death, and kind of have the case closed off as soon as possible, but Rashad Tate knows better. I personally think he's going to smell bullshit, and I also think it is the beginning of the end for Detective Carter. Him killing Kamal Tate was a big mistake, and that definitely will cost him at some point. We've also got a few pictures with Noma and Kane, with Noma looking like she's badgering Kane again. When will Kane say enough is enough? He's not stupid. He finds himself in the exact same position he did under Monet and Mecca. With Davis McLean also in the frame, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kane being cast aside more and more, which eventually leads him to betraying her. Now elsewhere, there's also the storyline with Drew in jail. We touched on Roman Price before, who is a big problem for the task force. Will Drew be able to get the job done, or could this actually be one which slips away and makes things a bit worse? In terms of Tariq and Brayden's drug operation, they're also going to find themselves fired from No Lie, so they're also going to have issues. Will they be able to set up a new pipeline quickly, or will they fall even further into a black hole? Now, with that being said, that's a quick preview heading into episode 7. No doubt it is going to be an episode filled with revenge, and another death or two, with Felicia Lewis looking like she's on the chopping block. But drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.